G'day guys, today we're going to try out some Android emulation on Windows 10 using BlueStacks. We will be using our trusty Lenovo 500E Gen 2 Chromebook running Windows Tiny 10 using Coreboot, which sports a Celeron N4100 quad-core CPU and 4GB of soldered DDR4 RAM. Let's get into it. To start off, we are going to need to download the BlueStacks program. So let's go to Google, I'm going to type in BlueStacks. The top link, BlueStacks.com, and click download BlueStacks. Once it's finished downloading, we want to open up our downloads folder and just double click on the BlueStacks installer. Make sure you click yes. We'll leave the install location as default and click install now. Click I agree. So the installer itself is only a few meg, but it does download a few different files, the first being 100 meg, the second is 500 meg, and the third is 170 meg. Once it's finished installing, it'll automatically run. We want to click next, 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 and done. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go down to the bottom left and click on App Player. This will actually start the BlueStacks emulator. If you're running on battery, you may get this pop-up, just click OK. So once it's actually loaded, the first thing we want to do is disable the BlueStacks ads. So on the top right, go to Settings, go down to Preferences on the left, and uncheck Allow BlueStacks to show ads during gameplay. Click Disable, and that will stop the pop-ups on the left-hand side. Click Save Changes, and we can close out of this. So this is your emulated Android desktop. It works just like a real Android device would. So you got Play Store, you got your files, Chrome browser, Android settings. Go into that. And as you can see, it is just Android. On the very bottom right of BlueStacks, you'll see 3 buttons. They relate to the physical or the touch buttons you would have on a real Android device. So Back, Home, and Context Menu, or Apps. We can close that off. I think to start off, we will log into the Play Store and download some apps. So you would sign in just as you would on any other Android device. And from here, you can just search for your favorite Android apps or games and download and install them as you would normally. I think we will try Temple Run. Once it's installed, we can obviously click play, but if we press home on the bottom right, we can see it is installed to our desktop. We can run it from there. You can use your mouse to emulate swipes, or you can just use your keyboard. So I'm just using the arrow keys. Up is jump. And down is slide. To tilt, use the Z and X buttons. So as you can see, basic gaming works fine. We'll exit out of this. Again, we can just press the home button on the bottom right. And if we press the very bottom icon, recent apps, we can clear all of our old apps. Copying files from Windows over to the Android emulator and back is super easy. Just go to System Apps, go to Media Manager, and the bottom left you'll see Import or Export. I want to import an Android app that I've downloaded from my Windows Downloads folder, so I'll click Import. Go to Downloads and Super Tux Kart. Done. All of your imported files will end up under DSIM. So if you go Explore, or if you're in a different app, go over to DSIM at the bottom, Shared folder, and this is where all of your imported files will appear. So if you had to use an actual productivity program and you wanted to access a file from your Windows laptop, in the program you would navigate to the DSIM folder and Shared, and that's where you'd find all of your data. You can sideload apps on this, again, just as you would on a regular Android device. We'll just click on it, click Install, and click Open. You may have to go to your Android settings inside BlueStacks emulator and enable unknown sources, usually if you've downloaded it from the built-in Chrome browser. Let's try out Super Tux Kart. And this one works fine as well. Again, you can use the touchscreen if your device supports it, or you can just use the keyboard if it has one built in. And just to show you, the touchscreen does work. Again, to exit out of it, we just press the home button in the bottom right. It's also on the top left. And press the recent apps, we can swipe it up, close it all off. BlueStacks is a great way to try Android apps and games on your Windows computer. Even on this low-end Celeron, it does run fairly well, but obviously more demanding games might lag or won't run at all. I think that'll do it for today. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. Otherwise, thanks for watching.